Each of our modules are managed by a simulated artificial intelligence called Sole, capable of learning scenarios and finding solutions according to the end user's requirements. Hello, and welcome to this webinar, operated and sponsored by Real ID. For your convenience, please turn your cameras and microphones off during the webinar. For your convenience, please turn your cameras and microphones off during the webinar. The webinar will begin momentarily. For questions and comments, please use the chat located in the center of the bottom of your screen. The webinar will begin momentarily. Real ID is a passionate and committed team. Through entertainment technology, we contribute to our clients' social and professional development. We offer a comprehensive service that responds to new challenges and has established our active international presence. We provide our clients with the right balance between their needs and our platform's optimal performance. We seek precise solutions for the continued use of legacy systems and, where appropriate, development of required applications. Real ID has grown thanks to the port and maritime industry's safety and security needs. Each of our modules are managed by a simulated artificial intelligence called SOLE, capable of learning scenarios and finding solutions according to the end user's requirements. Hello, and welcome to this webinar, operated and sponsored by Real ID. For your convenience, please turn your cameras and microphones off during the webinar. For your convenience, please turn your cameras and microphones off during the webinar. The webinar will begin momentarily. For questions and comments, please use the chat located in the center of the bottom of your screen. The webinar will begin momentarily. Real ID is a passionate and committed team. Through entertainment technology, we contribute to our clients' social and professional development. We offer a comprehensive service that responds to new challenges and has established our active international presence. We provide our clients with the right balance between their needs and our platform's optimal performance. We seek precise solutions for the continued use of legacy systems and, where appropriate, development of required applications. Real ID has grown thanks to the port and maritime industry's safety and security needs. Each of our modules are managed by a simulated artificial intelligence called Sole, capable of learning scenarios and finding solutions according to the end user's requirements. Hello, and welcome to this webinar, operated and sponsored by Real ID. For your convenience, please turn your cameras and microphones off during the webinar. For your convenience, please turn your cameras and microphones off during the webinar. The webinar will begin momentarily. For questions and comments, please use the chat located in the center of the bottom of your screen. The webinar will begin momentarily. Real ID is a passionate and committed team. Through entertainment technology, we contribute to our clients' social and professional development. We offer a comprehensive service that responds to new challenges and has established our active international presence. We provide our clients with the right balance between their needs and our platform's optimal performance. We seek precise solutions for the continued use of legacy systems and, where appropriate, development of required applications. Real ID has grown thanks to the port and maritime industry's safety and security needs. Each of our modules are managed by a simulated artificial intelligence called Sole, capable of learning scenarios and finding solutions according to the end user's requirements. Hello, and welcome to this webinar, operated and sponsored by Real ID. For your convenience, please turn your cameras and microphones off during the webinar. For your convenience, please turn your cameras and microphones off during the webinar. For questions and comments, please use the chat located in the center of the bottom of your screen. We will now start the webinar.
Good day, everyone. On behalf of the Secretariat of the Inter-American Committee on Ports, known as SIP, of the Organization of American States, I am delighted to welcome you all to today's webinar on the important topic of advanced education opportunities in the port and maritime sector. Before I begin my opening remarks, I wanted to apologize to you all sincerely for the slight delay. We had some minor technical issues behind the scenes. Today's webinar will feature representatives from major educational institutions, including the Caribbean Maritime University, the Suriname Maritime Institute, and the World Maritime University, who will all offer high-quality education initiatives and trainings to the port sector. Our distinguished speakers will share educational and capacity building initiatives that they carry out to bolster our sector's human capacity, tackling the major challenges and trends that our industry is facing. In this regard, I invite you to join the discussion later on in the Q&A via the chat function, and I would like to express my gratitude to our speakers for joining us today, and importantly to you all. We have registered participants who are joining us here on the Zoom platform, as well as via the live stream on YouTube from 37 countries across the world, and we have over 200 participants who have signed up for this. And I would like to thank all of you, all the participants, our speakers and colleagues who are attending today for making time in your very busy schedules. And on that note, I would like to invite our first speaker to join the virtual stage here with me, Yvette Smith-Johnson. She is the Director of Graduate Studies and Research at the Caribbean Maritime University based in Jamaica, and she is also the President of the Women Maritime Association in the Caribbean. Yvette, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mona. Good morning, everybody. I wish I could say that in several languages, but English is where I will keep it this morning. It is wonderful to have you, whether you're on the Zoom platform or you are on the live stream of this event. And it is amazing to be sharing space with esteemed colleagues who are into maritime education and training. What we find, is that when we work in ports and we work in the maritime sector, we are usually focused on skill development, and we are talking about competency-based, what I can use my hands aligned with my brain to do. And I want to say this morning that that is an amazing space. And always, we who are in maritime education and training invite you to think of how you can grow that skill set, not just for your company, but for you. And so this morning, as I share what I have on screen, I want to go over some data to say to you that the industry, we have a flag. We must increase training and recruitment because shipping is one of the few industries that is not slowing down. That is good news. And it is challenging news because in order to keep relevant, we have to have hands on deck. However, deck is not the only space where we need hands. It says that given the growing demand for STCW certified officers, the report from the International Chamber of Commerce predicts that there will be a need for an additional almost 90,000 officers by 2026 to operate the world merchant fleet. Now, that's just what is happening on the seas. But we know that whatever is happening on the seas must be complemented by what is happening in the land-based and allied industries for us to have a smooth maritime industry and a growing maritime industry that is just making the most financially and otherwise from what we're doing. So how does maritime education and training come in? One, in order to be our best selves, we have to put our best mental effort on the table. One of the things that we realize is that we are trained in different geographical spaces. And so for the Caribbean maritime industry, we open the doors with the idea of Caribbean. And we say to you, if you're in Miami, it's not Caribbean, but probably getting to the CMU in Kingston, Jamaica is easy for you to renew a certificate of competency than it would be for you perhaps to return home, depending on where you are and where you were trained. If it is that you got into the industry with a skill set that is not, you do not have those certificates of competency for, or the degrees for, are you willing to take the plunge and to move to a wider space? So let's talk about what we do in the Caribbean. Our nations are spread throughout the Caribbean basin, and I have a colleague here from Suriname. We do go down to mainland South America, and we talk about recruiting from across the region for training. We are not the only METI in the region, not by far. We have colleagues in Bahamas, colleagues in Trinidad, colleagues in Guyana, colleagues in Suriname, and every country has its own training space. But as a university, we focus on different groups of people, and I want to tell you this morning about the CMU advantage. Currently, well, we have said it, we're not the only organization in the region, but we are the only maritime education and training institution in the Caribbean that exists in an IMO whitelisted country that can grant licensure to seafarers. And so one of the advantages of coming to CMU is that if you do your certificates here, you can write your licensure examination with the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, and license in hand, you are free to go where you need to go to. We train competency-based, but we go up to graduate degrees. We want to tell you some things that we do. As with most whitelisted territories, our METI has to run an ISO, well, a QMS that is recognized, and for us it is the ISO 9001 2015 certification that we go for. And for the academic programs, we are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. The industry, we know, is impacted by the shortage of seafarers, and what we know too is that the global demand for us to reduce the carbon emission in fuel consumption and those things demand retraining of the people that we send into the field. We know that there is now a demand for electrotechnical officers to meet some of the new technological changes in our ships, and we know that training must happen in these areas to buttress what happens in seafaring. And we're talking about port security, logistics, supply chain management, engineering, and we are strong on the role of women in the shipping industry. So how do we prepare you in training? Well, specific to seafarer training, there is continued training for seafarers at the cadet level, and then we do training for persons who are willing to move up to class 2, master and chief mate level. Then we have the chief engineer and second engineer, STCW 3-2, and we have most of the IMO short courses, mandatory short courses, and those that you'd want to do just to get onto the vessel of your choice. And we are heavily audited through our MARAD to satisfy the IMO, and then we are audited by the Maritime Authority of Jamaica just for quality. So you are getting a program that is very portable. If you finish in Jamaica at CMU, you can take your Seafarer certification and you can move on. We have some partnerships and MOUs that help us with getting the best human element out there into the seafaring world. We have a bridging training certification program that we do with the LJM Maritime Academy in the Bahamas. So you can come down here and complete the bachelor degree if you had started in the Bahamas. We have continued relationship with MacPal Marine in Guyana, and we just signed off on an MOU with the University of Guyana to have some more training done. And we have the American Caribbean Maritime Foundation, who is a wonderful partner because they continue to sponsor financially seafarers from across the region, and many of those are women. We have other programs of study. We have a Bachelor of Science in Port Management. If you are not seeing yourself on the high seas, you could see yourself on a port wherever in the world. We have a Bachelor of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. We have a Bachelor of Science in International Shipping. And we do customs processes, freight forwarding and immigration. Tends to be a little regional in the focus, so you'd want to know that you're going to pick up a job in the Caribbean if you take on this course. But we do have a Bachelor of Science in Cruise Shipping and Marine Tourism Management that is very portable, and you can take that anywhere. We know that engineering keeps the industry moving, and so we have degrees in industrial automation, in industrial systems operation and management, where we go from building out to maintenance. We have a Bachelor of Engineering in Mechatronics because of how things are changing. We have one in Artificial Intelligence and Computer Systems because we see the trend of the world going AI with tech support. And we have one in Marine Biotechnology, so we can look for some solutions in our space. We are focused on the security area. We realize that port security, ship security, business security is important. So we have a Bachelor of Science in Security Administration and Management, which is high on physical, tactical support for shipping. And we have another Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. So we can take care of the online security needs. We have, for the seafarers, we do a Bachelor of Science in Marine Transportation for those who are the deck officers, and a Bachelor of Science in Marine Engineering, forget the spelling, for those who are in the engine room. And then we are offering a new course, a Bachelor of Science in Architecture and Marine Surveying, because we realize that these things are important. At the graduate level, we have a Master of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, accredited by the University Council of Jamaica, and also recognized by the CILT in the UK, and you can transfer into that space with it, which is the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. And a bachelor degree can get you to matriculate into this program. We are targeting that graduate program at persons who want to direct logistics and supply chain management operations and to supervise those things. If you're once you're managing, this is the degree for you. We have a Master of Science in Security Studies, and this program looks at any person who wants to manage from the security force, from the army. Once you're doing loss prevention and you are doing logistics, then this is the master's degree for you. And we have a Master of Engineering in Industrial Systems, where people who want to serve as leaders within the field of industrial systems engineering to apply and sign up. So we will take you from your competency-based education right into your undergraduate programs, right up to those graduate programs that we have spoken about. And I want to say this as a practitioner for education. I know my colleagues will come in, that we can dream things, but when we write them down, I borrowed this is not mine, but when we write them down and break them down into little steps, then we have a plan. And each step that we tick off by action helps to make those dreams, each step ticked off will help to make our dreams reality. And so I want to say to you that everything does not have to be training in the professional, what should I say, training in the academic space. Thank you. Look at your workspaces. Do you have an industry network that you want to use? Are you a member of the Women in Maritime Association of the Caribbean? Or your region, PACWIMA, AWIMA, they're all over. If you are not female, do you have a space where you can join with your industry and get some support? Do you see any local scholarships? Are you taking advantage of online training like those available at www.coursera.org? Do you see any LinkedIn training? Are you upskilling with what is on YouTube and in the social media groups? Do you want to do professional certification? Are you a part of that professional group? Formal education, as I have told you about and my colleagues will tell you about, where are you going? What is your goal? Do you start with those personal development building blocks? And then are you now aiming for professional development? Do you want to acquire both? That's not a problem. Just know where you're going, because as we were told in Alice in Wonderland, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So let's have a plan, and then let's write down some steps and let's make that plan a reality. I hope what I've said to you has been helpful, and I have some colleagues who are going to make it even more clearer to you what you could be doing to become the best you that you can be. Thank you for listening. You're muted, Mona.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yvette, for your very inspirational last words that you left us with. And I'm sure we can touch upon some of that later on in our Q&A session. So thank you very much, Yvette, for giving us a little bit of an overview of the rich educational program that the Caribbean Maritime University is offering. And I'm very excited to announce that the Inter-American Committee on Ports of the OAS, together with two other OAS departments, are currently in the works together with the colleagues of CMU in establishing an MOU so that we can increase our partnership in this important issue of educational and capacity building opportunities. So thank you so much, Yvette, for your wonderful presentation. And I would now like to invite to the stage again, to our virtual stage here, Mr. Lloyd Gemmerts. He is the Assistant Manager at the Suriname Maritime Institute. I know that Lloyd, this morning, he's been having some challenges with his video, but I would like to invite him on over here to the virtual stage for his presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mona.
Hello, Lloyd.
So,
And Lloyd, you feel free to share your screen as well.
yes, I will.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and also good afternoon. Welcome to this webinar. And my presentation today will highlight the development of logistic education in Suriname. Okay, the foundation of logistic education was founded on December 19, 2008, and it's located in Paramaribo, Suriname. The registration in the foundation registry took place in 2009, and in February of the same year, the foundation was registered at the Chamber of Commerce. Now, our objectives is to offer transport education, and this objective is persuaded by, inter alia, establishing institutes for all kinds of transportation education, collaboration with other national and foreign institutes, and organization of training and education. All right, so the foundation for logistic education covers transport training and education in 4 sectors, namely maritime, port, aviation, and road transport. So the foundation is organized as follows. On top of the structure is the foundation board. The board is concerned with the strategic direction of the foundation. The manager is responsible for executing of the task of the foundation and is the point of contact for education institutes. And the 4 institutes, namely maritime, port, aviation, and road transport, these institutes together, they form the School for Logistics. So looking at the vision of the School for Logistics, the School for Logistics is characterized by meaningful learning in a context-rich environment within the outside the contours of the school in collaboration with companies and institutions. The school also offers students the best logistics training courses in accordance with national and international logistics standards. And furthermore, the school is characterized by elements that strongly rely on the acquisition of competencies that are derived from the needs and the match the competencies that can be achieved within vocational education. The mission: the school wants to transfer knowledge, skills, and learning skills by offering advisory and educational activities to students, entrepreneurs, and employees at organizations in Suriname and in the region in accordance with national and international standards. In this way, contributing to their sustainable position on the labor market to promote socio-economic development in the country and train students to become successful global citizens who make a tangible contribution to trade and business services. So currently, the Institute offers teaching programs at lower and secondary level. The aim is to provide education at a higher level in the future. So lower and secondary level are regarded as vocational education, and higher level is, of course, professional education. So vocational education, we divide it into 4 levels. So level 1, this is the level admissible for students with learning difficulties and students with social and learning disabilities. Preliminary education is not required for this level. So education is provided in a lower study pace. Level 2, this is the level of basic vocational education for technical professions. This level is for students with a primary technical diploma who wants to make a career in their maritime, port aviation, or road transport. Level 3 is a follow-up of level 2. Here, the students can further specialize in the technical subjects. And level 4, at this level, the students can be educated to a middle manager position. So within the School for Logistics, the levels are aligned and progression is possible. So among these 4 divisions, which I already mentioned, maritime, port, road transport, and of course aviations, the part of the School for Logistics, the Maritime Institute is far best developed. The other divisions are in the phase of setting up the education institutes. Okay, so the SMI, which is the Suriname Maritime Institute, provided its first courses in March 2010. What does the SMI stands for? So the SMI is a vocational education institute at secondary level. It provides basic training in daytime and nighttime courses. The daytime courses are set out for 2 years and the nighttime courses for 3 years. The nighttime courses are for students who are employed and therefore cannot attend the daytime courses. After completing the basic course, students can enroll for 1-year specialization courses. So we are now going to look at the courses which are provided. So the first course is the course for officers in charge of a navigational watch on ships of less than 500 gross tonnage engaged on their coastal voyage. And this course follows the STCW 823 course, which is the basic course for this institution. The second course is the officers. The second course is a specialization course where students are educated for officers in charge of a navigational watch on ships of 500 gross tonnage and more. And this course follows the requirements of 821 of the SCCW code. And the third course is also a specialization course. And this course is a course for officer in charge of engineering watch in a manned engine room or designated duty officer and periodically unmanned engine room. And this course follows the requirements of 8331 of the SCCW code. Now, the subjects which are provided can be divided in general subjects, supporting subjects, technical subjects, and also nautical subjects. And these are the subjects, some of the subjects: environmental studies, maritime law, dangerous goods, MARPOL. And for supporting subjects, we have Dutch, maritime, English, mathematics, physics, social studies, the technical studies, auxiliary engines, propulsion engineering, electrical engineering, hydraulics and pneumatics, practical training, and the nautical subjects: navigation, seamanship, meteorology, collision regulations, maneuvering techniques. So for this year, the number of students enrolled in the year 2023-2024 are 66 for the daytime course, and we have about 40 students for the night courses. So our teaching staff, we have 7 full-time teachers and 9 part-time teachers. So the teaching staff is recruited through the Ministry of Education. Some of the technical and nautical teachers who are working in public and private companies were identified by the school. And after they have agreed, they are presented to the Ministry of Education for hiring as part-time teachers. So between 2016 and 2023, we have about 59 students graduated from SMI. So out of this number, 54 finished the basic course and 5 the specialization course. Most of the graduate students are employed by the government, namely the Ministry of Defense and the Suriname Coast Guard. And a significant number is employed by semi-government companies such as the Maritime Authority Suriname and the State Oil Company. So we are also facing some challenges. So one of them is the lack of technical and nautical teachers, and competent and experienced technical and especially nautical personnel are quite difficult, hard to find for teaching purposes. So finding apprenticeship for students on board international ships is another challenge. Suriname has no international ships under its flag, so we therefore look for ships under foreign flag. And this is a challenge because Suriname is not on the STCW whitelist, which means that foreign flag administrations and ships, they don't recognize the training and certificates. So the solution for this challenge is collaboration with foreign institutes, which are internationally recognized. So, and this also needs further elaboration. The availability of facilities for practical training and of instructors is another challenge which you are facing. All right, I would like to thank you for your attention, and yeah, we're looking forward for the questions you may have. Thank you. Back to Mona.
Thank you very much, Lloyd, for your presentation, for giving us such a fantastic overview of the Suriname Maritime Institute. And congratulations to all the work that you have been doing. I'm especially impressed to hear about the vocational training that you offer. Lloyd, if you could be so kind and stop sharing your screen so that we can, and I'm sure we'll have questions later on for Lloyd as well. Again, I'm very impressed by the work you do. You mentioned some of the challenges, and please know that here at the OAS Inter-American Committee on Ports, we stand ready to support in any way we can in your effort of tackling those challenges. Now, thank you so much again, Lloyd.
Yes,
now,
thank you, Mona.
Of course. And now I would like to pass the mic on over to my dear friend, Aspasia Pastra. She is an assistant professor, research and ocean sustainability, governance and management at the World Maritime University in Sweden. And I'm also happy to inform that the OAS SIP is currently working on an MOU with the World Maritime University as well. As you see, we're trying to really make sure that we partner with key maritime and port educational organizations, institutes across the globe to be able to provide more capacity building opportunities to the region. So we're very excited that Aspasia is joining us today. And without further ado, Aspasia, I'll pass it on over to you.
Thank you very much, Mona. Hello to all the participants. And today we will talk about advanced education opportunities at the Sasakawa Global Ocean Institute of the World Maritime University here in Sweden. So the first part of the presentation would be about the World Maritime University, and the second part will be about the Sasakawa Global Ocean Institute, which is the unit in which I'm also working. Okay, so who we are a part of the United Nations family. The International Maritime Organization was established in 1958 by the United Nations, and then the IMO created the World Maritime University in 1983. And in 2018, we created the Sasakawa Global Ocean Institute. So we offer postgraduate education. We were established, as I told before, by the IMO in 1983, and we focus specifically on maritime and ocean education, research, and capacity building. And we have a number of supporters, usually governments. So our main supporters are the government of Sweden, Canada, Germany, the city of Malmö here in Sweden, the Nippon Foundation in Japan. And regarding our mission, we aim to be the world center of excellence in postgraduate maritime and ocean education, professional training and research, while building global capacity and promoting sustainable development. Our president, a new elected president, is the Professor Maximo Mejia. And here in Malmö, we work as staff and faculty members, more than 80 people from 30 countries. We have a network of 110 visiting professors and lecturers, and we are very proud that as of today, our graduates are up to 6,087 from 170 countries. We offer a variety of educational programs from maritime affairs, a master, from distance learning, summer academies. But today, I will focus on the two main educational programs of the World Maritime University, which is the PhD in Maritime Affairs and the Master in Maritime Affairs. Both programs are located here in Malmö, Sweden. Regarding the structure of our program, the standard master program lasts for 14 months, starts usually end of August, and is divided into 3 terms. In the first term, we have the foundation studies that we give to our students a very good understanding of maritime policy and the IMO system. As well, we make a good introduction to the environmental, economic, and managerial aspects of the ocean. In term 2, our students choose the specialization. We have 7 specializations ranging from port management, shipping management, maritime energy management, and we have also the ocean sustainability, governance, and management, in which the Sasakawa Global Ocean Institute belongs. And in the term 3, our students complete their dissertation and they choose a topic which may be of their interest, or they want to examine something which is relevant to their home country. And we have the graduation every October here in Malmö. This is an example that a student who chooses to do an MSc in Maritime Affairs and then chooses the Ocean Sustainability, Governance and Management specialization. There are 3 examples of the specialization courses he or she will undertake. So, for example, they will have global ocean governance. They will have another module about governing human activities that affect the ocean. And we have also the module of cross-disciplinary tools for the ocean sustainability, governance and management. And we have also the PhD here in Malmö, the PhD in Maritime Affairs, and that is a combination of mandatory research method courses and elective courses. And all of these sum up to 40 credits, and usually the master, depending on the speed of the student, is usually between 3 and 4 years. Now I'm coming to the second part of the presentation, which is the Sasakawa Global Ocean Institute of the World Maritime University. So the Global Ocean Institute, established in 2018 in partnership with the Nippon Foundation of Japan and with a generous support from the Government of Canada, Sweden, and the city of Malmö. And the Global Ocean Institute complements the International Maritime Organization's engagement in the broader sphere of ocean governance. And here are the photos from the inauguration of our institute, and include our esteemed ex-WMU president, Dr. Cleopatra Dumian Henry from Dominica, the chairman of the Nippon Foundation, Dr. Yohei Sasakawa, the ex-IMO Secretary General, Kitak Lim, and the mayor of Sweden. The mission of the Global Ocean Institute is to be the independent focal point for the ocean science, policy, law, industry interface, acting as a convergence point where policymakers, the scientists, the regulator, the industry, and the academia meet to discuss how to best to manage and use ocean spaces and the resources for the sustainable development. So in the WMU, we moved also from the maritime studies, and we included ocean studies in our curriculums. And this made with the establishment of the Global Ocean Institute in 2018. Here are my colleagues, and we are under the leadership of our Professor Ronald Long, who serves also as the director of the Global Ocean Institute. So apart from the teaching that we do and the specializations we have also large-scale projects. So these are an example of the projects we had for the period 2018-2024, so from the day that the Institute was established. The first program, the Land to Ocean Leadership Program, is supported by the Swedish Agency for Marine and Water Management and the German Federal Ministry of Transport, and aims to foster a better understanding of the interconnected character of terrestrial, aquatic, and marine ecosystems flowing from source to sea. Our second program, the Empowering Women, which has the support from the Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada, aims to advance an inclusive model for the sustainable governance of ocean spaces and maritime activities that takes into account the empowerment of women at all levels. The third program, the Bug-Right program, is about ocean technology, and the fourth program is about marine debris and sargassum. And about our last two programs, I will give a better insight on what we do. So I will start with the Closing the SARIC program. The objective of this program, we started 4 years ago and is ending this month, is to explore challenges and advance potential solutions to marine debris and sargassum threats in small island developing states, with a particular focus on the Eastern Caribbean region. So our research team was comprised from 5 girls who came here to Malmö from the Caribbean region. So we have Crystal Ambrosel, Christia Lenier, Roxanne Graham, Tricia Lovell, and Sarah Mahadeo. And our 4 first researchers graduated, they had their PhD and they graduated in October 2023. And we are very glad that they managed, based on this program in Caribbean, to have their PhD. And now they are back to the Caribbean. And this program had some amazing accomplishments. So, for example, the team contributed to the World Ocean Assessment publication. The team took part in the discussions about the International Treaty on Plastics in the Marine Environment. They were involved in the International Guide on Marine Spatial Planning. And these are some only of the key accomplishments of the team. Also, the team has been active in sharing the research in various forums, internationally, regionally, and locally. So they participated in conferences, they made a lot of side events in various events, and they scheduled around 10 webinars with various topics relevant to the Caribbean region. Of course, there were many publications, scientific publications that made by the team relevant to all of the challenges about marine debris, about the special assessment of micro and mesoplastic. And you can, if you want, we can share with you all the publications and learn more about the problem. The other project that we have here in the university is the Bug-Right project, which lasted for 4 years and ends in 2 weeks. So it was a 4-year European Union program. So the Bug-Right programs aims to change the way we inspect and maintain the vessel using drones, underwater vehicles, and magnetic crawlers. For example, instead of having the surveyor inspected enclosed spaces and tags, we will have a drone to inspect these areas. We have also underwater robots, and instead of divers to inspect the hull of the vessel, we send autonomous underwater vehicles. And then we have the magnetic rollers that clean the hull from biofouling and can make also hull measurements. And the surveyor can guide and monitor the process, just being in front of a screen. So this was a very large-scale project. We had 20 project partners from the European Union. We had, for example, universities that were dealing with the artificial intelligence of these robots. We had companies who developed these robots. We had ports where we tested in their premises these robots, and we had shipping companies. And each one partner had a different role to play in this project. The aim of the WMU is to develop a regulatory blueprint and submit it to the European Commission. So we identified all the regulatory problems we have, the challenges that we have, and what we have to do to create a regulatory blueprint and overcome all these challenges. For this project, again, we made a number of scientific publications that we will be glad to share them with you. And we also published 2 books. One is specifically about the smart port and robotic systems, and we make a detailed analysis about these drones and about these technologies that we will use from now on in the port area. So in a nutshell, what we did for the Bug-Right project this year is to submit to the European Commission 2 lengthy legal reports, We made a number of scholarly publications. We participated in international workshops. We established also a senior advisory group, which was comprised from experts in ocean technologies, and we were seeking their advice every time we completed a report, and it was we created various brainstorming sessions. And we also made in-depth interviews with maritime authorities, classification societies, port authorities, to understand better what is missing in the regulatory framework, what we have to do, and what will be the role of IMO in enabling these technologies for mass utilization. And the most important event we made happened last month in Athens, where we invited key experts in ocean technologies, and we all discussed in panels how we will overcome the regulatory barriers for serving robotics in an ocean industry. So the Global Ocean Institute of the World Maritime University has made a tremendous work all these 6 years that it operates, and we have made 337 publications that include peer review articles, scholarship books, and conference reports. And we are very glad and proud for all the researchers and the professors here at the Global Ocean Institute about the work they have done. These are some of our academic monographs we have published the last years. These are some of the reports that are related to the projects that we have done. And in total, we have hosted more than 20 conferences and events. We have made more than 40 webinars and capacity building activities, and we have given more than 150 presentations all over the world. And of course, we cooperate with the local community, with the city of Malmö, to create awareness about the ocean and about the shipping. We take every effort to contribute to our local community and nurture the generation of the ocean leaders and maritime leaders. And here I conclude with a very nice photo from the graduation we had here in Sweden in October 2023, where our 130 master students, along with our PhD students, graduated from Sweden and went back to their countries. Thank you very much and for your attention, and don't hesitate to contact me for any further information you may want. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aspasia, for your wonderful presentation. And thank you so much also for highlighting the important work the university is doing in terms of research. I had the distinct honor of participating a couple weeks ago at the Bug Right 2 Forum in Greece. And it was truly a remarkable event. And I would just like to highlight the truly significant work that the World Maritime University is doing in terms of research, especially in the Global South. And I think the project that you mentioned, the Sargassum project for the small island developing states, is mention worthy. And I invite everyone here who is joining us today to take a look at the important publications of the World Maritime University, as well, as they are extremely relevant to our region. So just a big congratulations to you and to the colleagues of the Institute for the important work that you are doing in our region and beyond. So thank you very much. Thanks, Aspasia. I would now like to invite Yvette back on our virtual stage, and of course Lloyd as well. I know he's having some challenges with his video today, but we know you're there in spirit with us. And we do have some time for some questions. I also would like to remind our participants, our over 80 participants who are joining us today, that if you have any questions for our speakers, feel free to type away in the chat, and if time allows, we'll get to those as well. But I have a question for Yvette. Yvette, you wear several hats. You are the Director of Graduate Studies at CMU, but you are also the President of the Women in Maritime Caribbean Association. And so kind of in line with that and your two roles that you have, I'm sure you have many more, but those are the two we're talking about today. Could you name a few strategies that CMU is implementing to attract more young people into seeking a maritime career in the Caribbean? And in your important role as president of WEMAC, how is CMU attracting more young women into such a male-dominated field?
Thank you for that question, Mona. When we talk about strategies, one of the things that we have embarked on a university is a kind of meet the people. So we take CMU on the streets. We also have open house. So we're a small university, I mean physically, but we have hundreds of people passing through each year to see what we're doing. One of the things that we recognize in our regional space is that though our territories are washed by the oceans, we don't think about the sea a lot. We take a lot of things for granted. And so one of the things that the university does is that it tries to help young people to see the enormous potential of life surrounding the maritime business, not just at sea, but in ports, because we are helping them to see what is done. So we go out, we bring information sessions out, we bring them in for information sessions, and then we have persons who are in the industry interfacing with our students, not just potential students, but one of the things that we do when we do curriculum planning is that we have a number of adjunct faculty being pulled from industry. So sometimes people are even being interviewed in their classrooms because their professor actually in their real life, their day job, can employ them. And so we have a good place where they kind of jump off into the industry. Similarly, where Women in Maritime Association Caribbean is concerned, one of the things that we have embarked upon, Mona, is the student chapter. We recognize that it's one thing to have a professional group of women, and we are working on visibility, and we are pushing activism, but we know that when our students are involved before they get into earning spaces, then what they have is an advantage because they already know who they are and where they are. And so we have launched the student chapter of the Women in Maritime Association Caribbean. First chapter is up and running at the Caribbean Maritime University, and we're having dialogue with our colleagues across the region about having other chapters in place, so that when we have persons like one of our students from who was at CMU being in Antigua, and I always talk about her, and she docks this huge cruise ship as a trainee pilot, and then we are all like, oh, she was ours. We're like, no, this should not have been that. Posts, we say Lannis is our student. So we want all Lannis Georges who come through CMU to be a part of the student chapter, to know that they belong here. And then we tick them off into professional membership, and we hug them from the beginning. And so that's a strategy that WEMAC is using, the launch of a student chapter, to ensure that the women are on, that they have big sisters, and that we are tipping them off into the industry so that they can get into their proper professional spaces when they are employed.
Fantastic. Thank you, Yvette. Yes, the student chapter is truly a remarkable initiative. So congratulations for that. And I'm very happy to hear that there are, there's the intent of having additional student chapters. And I think it's important, not only to attract women to see career opportunities, but to make sure that the future of our industry, is bright. So thank you so much for that remark. Lloyd, my next question is for you. And thank you again for your fantastic presentation and for all the work that you are doing at the Institute and the Foundation. So what is the role of the Foundation and the Suriname Maritime Institute? And what is the role you see for the Foundation and the Institute regarding the development of the maritime sector and or the transport logistics sector in the region? if you would position yourself regionally.
Yes, thank you, Mona, for that question. Okay, the role the foundation sees for itself is one of an education institute that provides certified training to persons of the region, thereby putting the foundation for skilled labor in transport logistics. So that's how we see that the direction that this foundation, this school should go. Yeah, putting the foundation for skilled labor. Yeah, that's what we are looking for. Yeah.
Fantastic. And do you think that from your point of view that the foundation, the School for Logistics, are you successful in fulfilling that mission?
Well, we are not dissatisfied at the moment, but of course, there is room for improvement. Okay, so definitely we're thinking about let's say improvement in terms of amongst other compliance of programs with regional and international standards. And we should also take into account that graduates at the moment are given an opportunity to make a career at companies in the maritime and other technical fields. So we are not dissatisfied. So there's room for improvement. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I see there's also a comment here in a chat from a colleague who says, who expresses their gratitude for allowing the Suriname Maritime Institute to participate in this webinar and sharing the stage with institutes such as CMU and WMU. And I know that there is a question for Yvette, so maybe a question that Yvette you can answer offline and maybe connect with Lloyd and the colleagues at SMI to discuss that further. My next question is for Aspasia. Just in general terms, why might someone choose the World Maritime University for their master's level study, and what is the differentiating factor, and especially someone who comes from our region, the Americas, Latin America, and the Caribbean?
Thank you, Mona, for the question. I will bring my perspective because I was a master's student here 20 years ago in WMU, and then I work here now the last 7 years as a faculty member, so I can bring, I can wear two hats, as you told before. So the first differentiating factor is that we don't offer bachelor level education. We offer only master level, PhD, and postdoc. So therefore, our master level students have already important experience in their respective fields, either in shipping companies or in port authorities, training institutions. They have worked in maritime administration, or they have just seafaring experience. So the master gives to these professionals the chance to go even a step further in their academic career and be the future leaders in ocean and maritime science. And usually they are appointed in their national delegation and participate in the IMO decisions. Another differentiating factor is that we are a United Nations agency, and we have this United Nations flavor, and we are a truly multinational community, and our graduates are from 170 countries. So our alumni network is tremendous all around the world, and WMU graduates, even if they are in Caribbean or no matter where they are, they try to help and cooperate with each other when needed. And the third factor is that we participated, as I also told, in large-scale state-of-the-art research projects that they make a tremendous impact in the sector. And most of these projects are funded by governments and foundations such as the European Union, the Nippon Foundation in Japan, the government of Canada. So overall, all in all, I think that our students who are already master level students are already professionals in their field, and along with our network we create and the research projects we have here, all of these make a difference and can be considered as differentiating factors. Thank you.
Fantastic, Aspasia. And you make an important point, and that's the point of the network and the alumni network that you mentioned. And I think in our industry, we know what a close-knit industry we are, and the culture of collaboration is integral to our work and to our industry. So thank you so much for that remark. And I wanted to, because you highlighted beautifully in your presentation the important research work that World Maritime University is doing. So I wanted to ask a follow-up question related to the Bug-Right project that you presented. How can the Bug-Right project and the ocean technologies that you presented as part of that project, how can they be applied to the port context?
Okay, the Bug-Right project is about the remote inspection techniques that we will use to inspect the vessel. So we use drones to inspect areas that may be dangerous or inaccessible for the human element. We have underwater drones, which can explode in underwater inspection instead of divers. And we have the magnetic rollers that can clean the hull from seaweed, algae, and microorganisms. However, in the Bug-Right, we try to extend our research to the port authorities. And we try to find, to the extent that the port authorities, especially in Scandinavia, are using these technologies, what are the benefits, what are the challenges. And we identified that medium-sized port and some small ports are starting using these technologies. For example, are starting using drones for infrastructure inspection, for routine inspection of the port, for port construction projects, and for vessel inspections. And we also saw that some of the ports use these underwater robots to perform detailed inspections of sea hull. And we see the tremendous potential that these technologies have. Security of the port, we identified all the benefits, all the challenges, and we asked the port authorities what would be the main priority for us in order to enable the mass utilization of these technologies in the ports. And the port authorities told us that they need a clear regulatory framework and universally accepted standards from IMO in order to be able to use these technologies. And here is where is our role with the Bug-Right project. We will submit our work also to in the European Commission and the IMO, and we would like also to create clear guidelines for the port authorities so to know how and when they could use these technologies. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I invite everyone to take a look at the very rich availability of research document that World Maritime University has, and everyone to keep their eyes and ears open for when those guidelines are published, because I'm sure that I see many folks here among the participants who are from our national port authorities. So that would be most certainly very, very, very useful. I see that there was I had another follow-up question for Yvette, but Yvette is so fast, she already responded. So, and I see there was also a follow-up question here for Lloyd, but you are all ahead of the game and already responding and communicating here in the chat. So that's wonderful to see. And I think it also shows the interest in this topic. And the importance of education, continued education, vocational training, and capacity building in our port and maritime industry. And Aspasia spoke to, the trends in technology. We see that especially in our region, ports are not only modernizing their physical infrastructure, right? There are many port development projects in the Caribbean happening. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is building their new port. Antigua and Barbuda just inaugurated their $90 million new port. I know that Trinidad and Tobago, Port of Spain is aiming to expand the physical infrastructure. So we have a lot of physical infrastructure developments in the region. Also, the digital and technological infrastructure is being modernized, and it's a huge effort. But we always say our most important asset remains our human resource. So it is important that as we, invest in new cranes, new technology, port community systems, that we do not forget that our important asset or most important asset are our people. So with that, I would like to thank you so much, Yvette, Aspasia, Lloyd, for the important work that you do for our industry, for our sector, in our region, and of course, World Maritime University across the globe in training our people, providing high quality educational opportunities, and conducting important research for our industry. So I would like to thank you all so much on behalf of the Inter-American Committee on Ports for your fantastic work. We, of course, stand ready to support that work as best as we can. And I see that there in the chat has been some exchange of contact information. So feel free to leave here your contact information as well, and we will make sure that we stay connected. And with that, I would like to thank everyone who joined us today from across the globe. Thank you all so much to Yvette, to Lloyd, and Aspasia, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you, everyone.
Bless you.
Thank you, Mona.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mona.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.